it's Dutchess. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here, but today I have a reading because of a very strange dream that I had. It was like strange, but good. So I got on my merch. I still have some of this merch. I believe I have a couple things left if you like it. But anyway, I got this new makeup, so I thought that I would go ahead and put some of that on. Hi, I've been needing this. Hi, Cassidy. Hi, Mary. Hello, Dutch. Hi. Hi, guys. We love you, Dutchess. I love you guys, too. While we're waiting for people to come in, I'm gonna try my new makeup, because, I don't know, we're girls over here, so I thought people might enjoy to watch that. So, first thing I'm gonna do is fix my eyebrows. Hi, Faith. So I had like a really weird dream last night. I feel like my hair has been looking so good lately. I've been using my hair serum on like wash days, but then on like regular, because like you have to wash that out. Like you can't just like leave that on your scalp. Hey, Angeline. Hi, Just a Girl. Dutchess, I've been watching you for so long. I've been meaning to ask you for your perspective on why you support Trump. I actually did a whole video on that, and for some reason the algorithm like always puts it right front and center on my page, probably because the algorithm is polarizing. So it's not necessarily that which this used to be normal with politicians, where it's not necessarily that I support everything that he does. I just thought he was the lesser of two evils, but I also didn't vote because I don't consent to any politicians telling me what to do, because I don't think there's any really good politicians in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure there are some that have good intentions, but I just think that when you get in the higher ranks, like, money talks, and I just feel that so many politicians put money before the people. So I did a whole video when there was the assassination attempt, because I stand against any form of violence like that, murder, especially on national television. Like, I don't want to see anybody's head explode on national television. So I did a whole video on it when the assassination attempt happened. So if you want, you can go watch it. It's like an hour long. A lot of people only watched, like they didn't listen to me. They didn't listen to what I said, and then they got mad. So just watch it. Like, if you're really interested, just watch it all the way through, because I go through a lot of stuff. But I've seen a lot of spiritualists talk about how, like, when you don't vote, it's basically your way of saying, like, I don't consent to any of this, because we do live in a reality where, like, you need consent in order to do anything, which the governments and the powers that were and the, like, world leaders a lot of times create false consent through these kinds of situations where you're, like, agreeing to things you never actually agreed upon, because they're not giving you informed consent. They're not giving you the whole story. So I've just seen a lot of people talk about how, like, if you want to, like, not give your consent to any politicians, like, don't vote. And also, too, guys, I'm indigo. Like, I am an indigo child, and if you, like, the thing that really made me not vote was how much they were saying, go vote, go vote, go vote. Like, everyone was yelling at me, you need to vote, like, whether it was Trump or Kamala or their supporters or, you know, just random people. Everyone's like, you have to vote, you have to vote. And, like, if you're screaming at me to do something I already don't want to do, and you're trying to make me feel like I have to do something that I don't want to do, I'm probably going to do the opposite. Like, that's just always who I've been. Like, if I already don't want to do something and then you're trying to pressure me to do it, it's going to make me want to do it even less. So, like, yeah, that's that. But thank you for the likes, guys. If you could like, it helps more people get notified of the video. 444 minutes. It looks very healthy. Thank you. But I've been using my hair serum on wash day, because you have to wash it out. But then I've been using the Whey scalp serum, like, for everyday use, because you leave it on your scalp, and it has, like, improved my hair so much, because we had, like, a really bad winter here in Connecticut, and it made my scalp, like, really dry, so that's been helping a lot. Period. I love how you think. I relate to it. Thank you, Mary. Have you been having weird things with technology? I've been experiencing extreme glitches in the Matrix. So, like, yes, with technology, but also with, like, real life stuff. So, like, this is silly, but, like, I randomly thought of, like, Sour Patch Kids the other day, like, the watermelon ones, and I was like, oh, those are good. Like, I miss those. Like, those are really good. And then I was nannying, and the grandma came to, like, take over when I was done nannying, and she brought the boys, like, Sour Patch watermelons. And I was like, what the heck? So, like, that's, like I said, a very simple, like, silly example, but I've been seeing that a lot where, like, I think of something, and there's that theory through Neville Goddard where they did, like, this experiment where he had people imagine climbing a ladder. And then he was saying, like, within the next few days, like, your subconscious is going to find a way to make you climb the ladder, like, in the Matrix, basically. And so people were like, yeah, right, like, I haven't climbed a ladder in years. And when they imagined themselves climbing the ladder before bed, they woke up the next day and, like, had a scenario where they had to climb a ladder. So, like, there's been experiments on how the subconscious, as within, so without, right? So, like, all is mental. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which some people say they're not true. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of good information in them. Maybe they aren't true, but they still hold keys to the universe and helpful information. But, like, so basically I've been having these experiences where I think of something and then I watch the Matrix change. I've also been seeing the Matrix glitch in real time, like birds disappearing, like weird shit like that. Like, just real time timeline hops, which is part of what this video is about. I've also had really weird experiences with people, like with NPCs glitching, and I've had very strange experiences with, like, getting brought in these weird customer service loops, because I've had to call customer service a couple times in the past week for, like, different businesses, and I keep getting, like it feels very strange, almost like a weird, like, low-level form of spiritual attack where I get taken in these loops for, like, fucking 45 minutes, wasting my time and energy only for them not to be able to solve the problem in the end. And it's just really weird. Like, things have been weird, yes. I have been having weird things happen to my technology, so Faith has as well. Me too, and it sometimes scares me and not enough people talk about it. There's an increase of scammers and pop-up ads. Yeah, and even if you saw my last live, there was, like, all these bots. I tried to comment under them, like, you're a bot, but there were all these bots trying to get people to buy this, like, manifestation book. Like, we're in a really weird it feels transition period right now between, and that's part of what this video is about, is, like, I got the hit that, like, we're merging parallel timelines right now, and that's why everything's so glitchy, and that's why, you know, I kind of believe that's what the Mandela effect, I have two beliefs about the Mandela effect. I believe the Mandela effect is them changing stuff so that they can see how much they can change while we believe it. So it's like, even if we think about COVID, how many times did they say that the ANTIVs were, like, you know, the root of all evil, and they were calling them names, and they were saying, oh, the V's are 100% effective, and then they weren't. And then now, a few years later, they're trying to say, we never said that. We never did that, but people kept receipts. People kept all the receipts of all the horrible things that they were saying and then it really was very offensive to me at the Super Bowl when they were saying, stop division. Why does everybody hate each other now? Everybody hates each other now because you successfully spent the last 5 years tricking people into hating each other, telling people why they should hate each other, whether it's their medical needs, their beliefs, their political views, their race. Like, you successfully spent the last 5 years dividing and conquering, and now it's the same way they blame us for climate change, right? Like, they're, like, screaming at us about how you should only have one hamburger a month. Meanwhile, their private jets are just tearing up the ozone layer. So it's like, they cause a problem, and then they blame us for the problem that they caused, and then they hand you a solution for the problem that they caused. So it's like, where was I going with that? Why did that come up? Oh, I believe the Mandela effect is them changing stuff in front of our faces and then saying, well, that didn't happen. Like, remember that girl who was like, remember there was a cornucopia on Fruit of the Loom? And then Fruit of the Loom came out and said, we've never had a cornucopia. You're just crazy. You should seek mental health help. And then she found a really old shirt from the 90s that had a cornucopia on it and was like, oh, so you're lying to our faces. Like, I believe the Mandela effect is gaslighting, because we're in a narcissistic and abusive relationship with the powers that were, with the global leaders, with the governments. Like, plain and simple, I've been saying it since 2018 when I escaped my personal narcissistic and abusive relationship. I've been saying, oh, the way the government treats us is the same way my ex treated me. So we're in a narcissistic abusive relationship with them. So of course they're gaslighting us. Of course they're lying to our faces. Of course they're saying, oh, that never happened. You're just crazy. So part of me believes some of the Mandela effect is that. And the other part of me believes it's when parallel timelines merge, and when one person comes from one timeline where it's Berenstain Bears, and then another person comes from another timeline where it's Berenstein Bears, and now we're both merging this timeline and we're saying, wait, no, it was this, it was this. So I think it's like a combination. Plus, like, Spirit just put in my head, remember how many fucking dark matter portals they were opening with CERN? Of course we're having these, like, matrix glitches and experiences. They've literally told us to our faces, like, yeah, we're opening dark matter portals. Hope you don't mind. Like, false consent, right? They're not asking for permission. They're just telling you and hoping everyone goes along with it. So, yeah, that was, like, that was a lot. I don't understand why it happens. It's not silly, it's real. Yeah, those are my guesses. I don't know either. Like, those are just my perspectives. Hi, haven't seen you for a long time. Hi, Suzanne. Glad you could make it. Oh my God, I swear I manifested a common cuckoo. What is that? In my town. I've never heard it before, but now that I focused on it, it's here. That's awesome. Hi, Wenpo. Like, the government knows what's going on. Of course. I don't trust AI. It's scary. Me either, Angie. Plus, I just saw this video of these people. They had an AI building go up. Like, they bought land. You also need to question why all these billionaires are buying all the land. Why is there so much land grabs right now? But these people had a nice patch of land. They built a beautiful house on it. And then one of the big AI buildings went up next to it, and it's completely destroyed. Like they have terrible water pressure. They have next to no water pressure because all the water pressure is going over to the AI building. There's constant lights shining in their house because there's always lights on at the AI building. They just randomly explode stuff. Like, they were sharing videos of them like being like, fire in the hole, and then just like exploding stuff. Like, why are you... For what reason would an AI facility need to be practicing explosives? Like, I don't trust any of it. I just was watching, I haven't finished it yet, but I was just watching a video on the Conspiracy Files. If you don't follow them, definitely go follow them. It's Colin, the Conspiracy Files. He did a video on a whistleblower to AI who was taken out, we will say, brutally taken out, and his parents are fighting for justice because they know that it was foul play. But, you know, they have their hand. If you got money, you can pay off anybody. And so, like, the police aren't looking into it, nothing. So they're basically like, this kid was like whistleblowing on how bad AI is, and then, oh, conveniently he just decided to unalive himself. Yeah, freaking right, on his birthday. Like, Fast food places like Wendy's commenting on social media to make it look like they are chill. Yep. I've been having messages that they are saying to trust AI right now, and I'm not sure if it's right. Like, I was fighting with my brain trying to figure out if I can trust ChatGPT or certain information. Well, this kid helped create ChatGPT, and he was whistleblowing on it. So I've never trusted it. I don't like it, and half the information it gives you is wrong. Plus, in 2025, people don't know how to do research, which they love that. They love that people, if 2020 taught me anything, it taught me that researching is a skill, and that not everybody has the skill or the talent to research. It's a muscle you can work. You can learn how to follow leads and go down rabbit holes and things like that, like true journalism used to be before it was all propaganda. But most people don't have that skill. And if you give people AI to do the research for them, it's going to kill that skill in them even more. So I just feel like it's another brainwashing tactic to make people deaf, dumb, and blind, because people are already lacking certain cognitive skills that used to just be basic things that you were taught in like public school, and now that's just gone on purpose. Because the more research you do, the more you realize that like everything's a scam. Okay. I love AI if we use it for good. I mean, it could be, but it's just not being used for good, right? Cassidy, me too. I don't know if I can trust ChatGPT. I just suggest doing your own research, and I even do it too. Like, I'll just listen to what the AI says because it's the first thing that pops up on Google. And I'm like, I have to be better about it. Like, we have to be more intentional, I think, with our phones and stuff like that, because it's so easy to just go on autopilot and be brain dead on your phone and scroll. Like, I really thought about how bad my attention span has become since 2020. Like, do you remember when long form content used to be the norm in 2020, and then by 2025 it's 7 seconds of a TikTok reel? That's how much our attention span has been destroyed in the last 5 years. And I've really realized, like, I'm addicted to my phone, and I need to do better about that. I realized, like, my attention span is crap, and it already wasn't that good because I had ADD. Like, how many of us have freaking ADD nowadays? And this kind of shit isn't helping. So it's like, just be mindful. Like, think for yourself. Don't let the phone think for you, because that's what they want, right? Because ultimately, their ultimate goal is to chip us, right? Like, people already do that. Like, when I go to Whole Foods, there's a scanner for you to scan a chip in your hand to pay for your food here in Connecticut, a very liberal state. And I'm not saying, like, liberalism is better than conservatism or whatever. I'm just saying there are certain agendas for both sides, right? So, like, there are definitely certain agendas for both sides that are unhealthy and toxic, and then there are parts of both sides that are good and helpful to society. So it's like, in this state, I noticed, being in a blue state during all the lockdowns and everything like that, like, control is a main operation in these states. So, especially because I traveled down to South Carolina, and they genuinely did 2 weeks to slow the spread. We did 2.5 years, okay, up here, like, under heavy lockdowns for 2.5 years. So it's like, the ultimate goal is to put a chip in your brain so that you don't have to think for yourself. The transhumanism agenda, right? Where they merge machine with humans. So if they can get you to do that with your phone right now, where the chip isn't in your brain, but you're not thinking for yourself, you're just listening to everything ChatGPT says, and you're just scrolling, and before you know it, it's been an hour, and you've brain rotted for the last hour. Like, it's just a tool, I feel, on the way to making it so we really can't think for ourselves. So we actually are told what to think, told what to believe inside of our brain. So that, I know that's intense, but it's how I feel from the research that I've done. So thank you for the likes, guys. But anyway, I could blah, blah, blah forever. Let me do my little makeup that I want to do before we do the reading. And I've never done my makeup in a camera, so if it comes out ugly, please don't judge me. This isn't my thing. This is not what I do. But yeah, I'm a simple girl. I'm just using the clear eyelash stuff on my eyebrows to just try and give them a little bit of shape, because I used to fill in my eyebrows like really heavy because I liked that like Italian look, but because I am Italian, but I don't really have thick eyebrows at this point in my life. I mean, hopefully they grow in thicker someday, but yeah, now I just do this because it's simple, and if I'm not doing a full face of makeup, it's just like keeps them in a nice shape without being overdone. Yeah, this makes me think that because I grew up in the USA, I am prone to not trust AI. I need to think for myself and research. Exactly. That's good. Hey, sweetest Wayne. Hey, Duchess. Angie, I love your hair. Thank you. Thanks. You are beautiful. You inspire me to be my authentic self when I was 16. Aw, thanks, Mary. That's a lovely comment. Thank you so much. Okay, so the new makeup I got. Now, trust me on the vision. Okay, another simple thing that I use is this is from Walmart. It's Hard Candy is the brand, and it's just like jelly glitter stuff for your eyes. So I'm gonna put on, I think I'm gonna put on a little bit of the gold. But yeah, people, when I go out, people are amazed by this. They're like, your eyes, they're glittering. How did you do that? And I'm like, you'll never know. It's my secret. But it's literally just this. It's like $6 from Walmart. But because it's like jelly, it stays on your eye, and that's all you have to do. And people are amazed. When I did go down to South Carolina, I went to a restaurant, and some guy was like, how are your eyes glittering? And I was like, well, I'm a witch from Connecticut. And he was like, wow. I was like, all of us witches, we have glittery eyes. I don't know, people just get amazed by it, but I'm sharing very valuable secrets with you guys. I'm getting freaking hot right now. I'm not taking this sweatshirt off, but I'm getting hot right now, which means I'm about to be channeling. So, yep, put on a little glitter on my eyes. It's nice too, like if you're going to the beach and you just want a little something to catch the sunlight. I love all of you. Thank you, Noor. That's true. I wear glitter on my eyes too. Us witches love glitter. We do. Spirits love glitter. Spirits, fairies, witches. Okay. Now, I need you to stay with me and see the vision. I got these for when I get more tan in the summer. So I've always wanted, a little ASMR. I've always wanted this. I don't know why. I've always wanted, ever since I was young, I saw the orange tart and I was like, I want that. But, you know, when you're young, you can't afford tart. You just can't. And it was even freaking expensive, guys, now. But I decided to treat myself because I just got, you know, the nannying job. So here's my beautiful orange tart. Now I know you're thinking, Duchess, that's too orange and dark for you. Inception! You may be thinking, Duchess, that's too orange and dark for your skin tone. Now just imagine me, just a little bit, imagine me with more of a tan. After a nice beachy day, I'm all tan, and I'm salty, and my hair is salty from the ocean, and I'm like, I don't know, in a mint green little dress, mini dress, because that's what I wear sometimes after the beach, and I just have a little bit of this orange color on my cheeks. Not too much, nothing too crazy, but tan with that nice orange glow. Okay, maybe I went a little overboard on that side. Like I said, don't judge me. This is the first time I've ever done my makeup in a camera. So I'm tan, I'm salty, I'm orange. And then I also, so cute, guys. So, okay, there's way too much orange on the right side. Let's see if I can even that a little bit. It makes you look sun-kissed. Thank you! You're seeing the vision. It's perfect. Thank you! Okay, you guys, thank you for seeing my vision. Yeah, so I'm salty. My hair is salty and beachy waves, and it's blowing in the breeze as I drive away from the beach. I think it's a good fit. It makes you look sun-kissed. Thank you! And then, the other vision. This is highlight. Okay, so this one is Drama. Okay, and that's a blush. And then this one is Inception. Champagne Glow. It was between this and Rose Gold. I'm trying to make it Inception again. It was between this and Rose Gold, and I chose this one because the Rose Gold was too pink with the orange. So this gave like a nice little glitter. So not gonna go overboard on this either. And I'm gonna put it like more on the, like more on the outside here and like on the apples of my cheeks. Oh, yeah, guys, the vision is coming together. Ha ha ha. Now imagine that song that's like nobody on the road, nobody on the I can see you, your bright skin shining in the sun. You got your hair pulled back, sunglasses on, baby. When we tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone. Da-na-na-na-na-na. That's what's in my head. And I'm in a mint mini dress, right? So you guys see the vision? And then I'm making out with my boyfriend. Manifest it with me, please. Okay, there we go. I think the vision came together very nicely. And it'll be even nicer once summer comes. Okay, and then I have this other lip gloss that I wanted to put on. Cutie Pie. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Go girl. Okay. Now, something about me is I'm obsessed with lip gloss. I have a lot of it. This is Banana Pillow Balm Hangover Too Faced treatment, and I thought the yellow would look nice with this orange and gold. I wore this at my sister's wedding. I love banana. I love banana. I love banana Laffy Taffy. I don't know why. I love that fake banana. Woohoo! This is the kind of lip gloss that makes your lips tingly, just so you know. If you have like sensory issues, you don't like that. It's called Banana Kiss. So, that's the look. Mint green dress, salty, beach day, tan, driving to that song that I was just singing. I got this at Ulta. It's Too Faced. It looks so good. Thank you. Maybe I'll start doing this more. Oh my god, guys, I need to whiten my teeth though, because since I darkened my hair, it kind of makes your teeth look less white. Like, my teeth, trust me on this, my teeth are not yellow. Like, I get compliments all the time, like, your teeth are so white, but my hair kind of made it, because my hair was like a light brownish red before, so it wasn't as noticeable. And then, I'm telling you, kids will keep you so humble, because the boy I nanny looked at me and said, your teeth are more yellow than butter. And I was like, just kidding. I didn't do that. I was very offended, but that's how it felt. And then I was like, I guess I need to get my teeth a little whitened, so I'm getting a little self-conscious of them right now. But yeah, I'm gonna whiten them with charcoal. So yeah, I just do that every once in a while. Nothing too crazy. Just I have like charcoal pills, activated charcoal. I open them up in some coconut oil, and then I just do a little whitening. Driving with your boyfriend. Yeah, driving with my boyfriend. Coconut oil to whiten them. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Coconut. I do a little coconut oil and charcoal. Okay. Well, that was fun, guys. Thanks for doing makeup with me. Okay, let me tell you about my dream now that we're done with that. Okay, we're 30 minutes in. Lemon, baking soda, and toothpaste. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna try that too, maybe. The options are endless when you have smarty pants subscribers that give you the goods. Okay, so let's talk about my dream. I had a very strange dream last night, but it was really good. Like, I had a dream that I was at, and I'm sure there is, I'm just gonna turn off the checks. I am gonna get distracted. Okay, so I was at a festival, and I'm sure there is a festival like this. Like, I've seen festivals similar to this, but not exactly like this. So I was at a festival, and I was younger. Like, I was like in my 20s, and it was like it was in the desert, but it was like red. Like, it was like red sand, red deserts. And it was just like a bunch of like 20-somethings around. Like I said, I was younger in the dream. It was like my younger self. And there was like places like these weird dilapidated houses that you could stay in. And I was staying in this like dilapidated house, and everything was like super rainbow and colorful. Like the tiles on the floor of the bathroom were like really rainbow, and like all the decorations were rainbow. And I was hanging out with these girls, and one had like bright red hair, and I was just like friends with them in this timeline. And one of my friends, like my old friends that I'm not really like we talk sometimes, but we're not really friends anymore at this point in my life. We used to work together, so I would see him like every day, but now he lives in a different state and everything, so it's like we're still cool, but we don't like hang out. And so he was there, and he was like having a bad trip, and he was like panicking, and he like couldn't breathe, and I was trying to comfort him. And then I had another friend from college who was there, and he was kind of like he was always like a really chill person, and he was just kind of like laughing at the situation. And so that was random, because I haven't thought about those two friends in a long time. And then I like looked at my shoulder, because my shoulder was really itchy, and I had all these like really intense scratches. Like, you know when you get like spiritual attacks sometimes, and you will get bruises or scratches or something from entities? Like, I had all these huge scratches on my shoulder, and I remember thinking in the dream, like, oh my God, like that was definitely spiritual attack. But there was like red sand all over me too, like red dust from the desert. And then me and the girls went shopping. It was like really fun. We went shopping, and we got like more cute clothes for the festival. It was like we were in this like town. It was like, but it was like the festival. It was so strange. And then I saw someone else, like, who I haven't thought of in years, like one of my old friends from like high school. And she was always like, not sound rude, but she was always a very negative person. And in the dream, she was like super negative too. Like, it was like that same frequency that I always remembered her in, and that she's always been in as long as I've known her. Very pessimistic, very like low frequency. And so that was kind of funny that she showed up like in that same energy in the dream. And then I like zoomed, I was like trying to take a picture, and I zoomed way out on the fields, like these just fields and fields of desert. I guess it wouldn't be fields, it'd be miles of desert. I don't know. I've never actually been to the desert. But there were all these groups of people, and they were carrying these giant blow-up swans. And then instantly, like, I felt in my heart, like, I could feel my twin was there. And I was like, and if you know me, I've been very resistant to the twin flame journey really since 2022. Like, I've been really closed off to it, and very like acknowledging that it's real, because I've literally had conversations with my twin where we've talked about it. Like, we've talked about the way we feel about each other, and we've talked about twins, and we've talked about like the signs and synchronicities of twin flame journey, and like recognizing that we are twins. And something that is already associated with twin flame journey is swans, because swans mate for life. But my twin before that, it was like a synchronicity for our journey because he was, it's kind of cheesy, but he would call himself at times the Swan Knight because of like some video game or something that he was playing. So like seeing the swans, it was like I instantly got filled with that, like, you know, that like bubble of like purity that you feel and like Kundalini activation with your twin. It was like it like surged from my toes to my head to like above my head and my other chakras when I saw those like blow up swans, and I was like, oh, he's here. And then I strongly felt like he was like looking for me. And then I was like, oh, I have to go find him. And then I woke up. And on May 20th, I had a dream that my twin was asking my dad, like, for my hand in marriage. And I, like, saw the conversation, like, from above. And for those of you who, I mean, I don't really talk about it anymore because it's not really anybody's business, and I don't really like sharing this kind of personal stuff. I share so much about myself. I don't really like to share this personal kind of stuff online because I share other personal stuff. But like, we're friends. Like, me and my twin are friends. We're just not together. Like, but we talk and we're cool, you know? But I switched heavily from the chaser to the runner, and I didn't even realize I was running until a couple months ago when it, like, spirit sat me down and was like, you're not available. Like, you're not emotionally available. You're not giving him a chance. Like, in the past, it was like he wouldn't give me a chance, and spirit's basically like, you're not available. You're not giving him a chance at this point. And so I'm still not ready, I don't think, because I got my heart hurt so bad and broken to a million pieces. Like, I'm still not available. And so that's been something I've been processing, like, these past few weeks, is just recognizing that I've become the runner, and, like, what does that actually mean? And how do I become available? Not necessarily for my twin, even though that would be really great if we could end up together in the end, but just available in general for, like, romantic love. And yeah, so like May 20th, I had this dream that I was having an aerial view of my twin asking my dad for my hand in marriage, and my dad said yes. And then the scene changed, and it was like me and my twin, and he was just like holding me. And then I woke up. After we like talked a little bit and like had this like nice conversation. And then my phone memories like came up, and May 20th of 2021, I did the twin flame spell and fire ceremony that a lot of people were a part of. Like, there was like 40 people in that twin flame spell and fire ceremony. And so if you were in that one, the one where we did the tea lights on the floor, there's like 40 tea lights on the floor. And then I did that big fire ceremony at my parents' house. The one that pissed people off because people were screaming at me about how I was like culturally appropriating and spiritual bypassing and blah, blah, blah. And how I'm not really Native American. There's no way I'm Native American. I'm too white to be Native American. Like, that fire ceremony triggered the fuck out of people. I took so much heat for that. And like, yeah, I was kind of spiritually bypassing at the time, because I don't judge people for spiritually bypassing anymore, because sometimes we only have the capacity to deal with what we can deal with. And I did not have the capacity to deal with certain things in that moment. And so, yeah, I was spiritually bypassing, but basically I was just surviving. Like right now, like after having all the death that I've experienced with the 3 major losses in my life, the most recent one being just a couple weeks ago, like I have to know my limits. I have to know what I can deal with and what I can't. And so I think at the time there was just certain things I couldn't deal with, and that made people really mad. Like, for some reason, when you're online, people feel extremely entitled to not only tell you what to do with your platform and what to do with your business and what to do as an individual, but they feel extremely entitled to berate you and call you names and say, like, I'm forcing you to be accountable and all this just, like, crazy shit that it's like you're some random person from across the country or across the globe. Like, you don't get to control me. Like, that's really weird mentality. It's crazy person mentality. It's codependent mentality. It's mental illness. So it's just crazy because, like, on the exact day that I did that spell and fire ceremony, I had that dream of, like, him asking my dad for my hand in marriage, but 4 years later, because that was in 2021. Because, like I said, I kind of became the runner in 2022. Like, I was just done. And not just done, but, like, forcibly pushing it out of my life. Like, I wanted to pretend like none of it ever happened, but the more I tried to pretend like it didn't happen or it didn't exist, the more it would pull on me, you know, personally. And every experience is different. But anyway, so my twin, I always had a lot of, like, resentment towards my twin because, well, for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is, like, while I was surviving in an abusive relationship, like, literally surviving, he was out having, like, the time of his life. Like, he was, like, going to festivals all the time and, like, following our favorite, like, it's not really my favorite musician anymore, but, like, it was his favorite musician at the time, and at a point in my life, they were my favorite musician. So it was, like, he went to, like, 27 of our favorite musicians' concerts. Like, he was literally living the dream. Like, living the dream, going to all these festivals and everything like that, while I was, like, literally trying not to die. Like, my ex was, like, kidnapping me and abusing me and tried to choke me out, and, like, just, like, through Cornica, like, abused Cornica as well, like, and this guy was, like, a cancer. Like, I would get restraining orders on him, and I would do all this shit, and he just wouldn't go away, like, because he didn't respect the law. So even having the restraining orders, the protective orders, all that shit, it meant nothing, especially because he could break into my house. Like, he was a criminal. So he was, like, breaking into my home. I couldn't get rid of him. He was also, like, a heroin addict, an alcoholic. Like, you add drugs and alcohol to the mix, and it makes a criminal even more criminal because they lose all their fucks. So it was like, while I was literally trying to survive and escape this parasitic cancer that had forced itself into my life in the form of a relationship, he was having the time of his life. And there's part of me that's always resented him for that, because maybe it's not logical, but I always wished that he would have saved me. Like, I always wished that he would have found me and saved me, which I know it's not logical, but sometimes we have feelings and they don't make sense, right? Like, I understand that my resentment doesn't make sense, but it doesn't change the fact that that's how I feel. And so it was so weird, because going back to the dream where I was at the festival, I woke up and I felt so light and I felt so good. And I felt like that was a parallel timeline, especially because I was in my 20s. And so it felt like there was a timeline where I was having the time of my life, where I was getting to go to these festivals, where I wasn't surviving, where I was thriving and enjoying myself, and, like, got to have, because people say, oh, your early 20s is the best time of your life. Those were some of the worst years of my life for obvious reasons. And it made me feel really bad about myself that, oh, like, these are supposed to be the best times of my life and I'm barely surviving. Like, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. But in reality, it's like everybody has a different experience. There's no reason to feel bad about your experience. It's just everyone has a different experience. Plus, when you talk to older adults, they say your 30s and 40s are actually, like, the best time of your life, because, like, you're still young and you have adult money and, like, adult, like, brain function, and, like, it's just better for certain reasons, right? So, and then I had this major realization this morning that, like, there were choices made, right? Like, there were certain choices that I made that led me into the clutches of an abuser. Should he have ever abused me? No. But certain choices I made in my life led me down that path. And that's the lesson that has been coming up so much over the last 2 months as I've been watching my grampy slowly deteriorate and die from dementia and old age. And as you know, he just passed away, so I'm grateful he's not suffering anymore. But this world is just so polarized. Like, I'm so sad he's gone, but I'm so happy he's not suffering. Like, it's just so much to process. But he made a lot of bad choices after my nanny died young. Like, my nanny died young of cancer at 59, I think. And he had to restart his life, and he made a lot of bad choices in restarting his life because he didn't heal before he started laying foundations. Like, he didn't heal from losing my nanny before he started laying foundations towards his new life. And so then those foundations were really bad. And they always were bad, but they became extremely apparently bad as my very toxic, narcissistic, evil step-grandmother. I can say that now because I have no attachment to her at all. Like, I never have to talk to that evil woman again. She's a very bad person. Very bad person. Very, very bad person that really pulled our family apart through her narcissism. It became apparent how bad his choices were and what a bad person she was the more sick he got. And the closer he got to death, the more apparent those choices became. So it's just made me realize a lot about choices. And this made me realize that certain choices led me to that abusive relationship. And my twin was never supposed to save me from that. As much as, like I said, I might resent him for not doing it, that wasn't his job. My choices led me there. And like I said, the abuse never should have happened, but it did. And so the person who had to save me was me, and I did. That's why I'm sitting here before you today. But then it was like, okay, what if I was actually supposed to be at those festivals? Like, what if I've been resenting him for not finding me, but like the real culprit was me making the wrong choices that didn't lead me to meet up with him, right? So it's just a lot to think about. And at the time, he was in a relationship when he was doing all of that, so it wouldn't have really made a difference because he wouldn't have been available anyway. But at least I would have had more fun than being in an abusive relationship. But then there's also the aspect of it that abusive relationship taught me everything I said in the beginning about how I believe we're in a narcissistic and abusive relationship with our governments and with the world leaders. So ultimately, I know I'm on the right path, and I know that I learned what I needed to learn, and that everything happens for a reason. And that being in that abusive relationship made me stronger and wiser and more independent and all these other things. But it also made me, like, this, having that dream made me take accountability for the fact that, like, my choices led me down that road, and that it's no one's fault that I ended up down that road. I mean, it's my abuser's fault for making the abusive choices, but, like, it's nobody's fault that, like, that was the path that I ended on. And if it's anyone's fault, it's my own fault because I made the choices that led me there. I know that's all really, like, woo, and, like, quantum and deep and weird, but that's where I'm at now. So it was like I was able to release that resentment towards him through recognizing my own responsibility of the choices I made that led me down the path I went down instead of being down a happier path. And I'm basically in a place now where, especially with all the death I've experienced, is like I really do have to surrender and just have faith in some kind of, like, higher power, God, however you perceive it. Like, for me, I don't even know what the fuck it is. I just know it's like an unconditionally loving source. And just trust and surrender that, like, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, even if it doesn't look how I thought it would or how I wanted it to. And, yeah, that, and then after all that happened, it felt, after I had all those realizations, it felt like that parallel timeline that I saw in my dream, it felt like it merged with this timeline. And it felt like, because quantumly, right, anything's possible, and anything and everything is all happening at once if you believe in quantum physics. So I did experience that timeline, just not technically this Nikki didn't, but some sort of parallel Nikki did. And every other timeline you can imagine. So it felt like that parallel timeline merged. And yeah, I just wanted to do a reading because I'm like, this is like really intense and quantum, and it just feels like there's a major shift that's happening with these parallel timelines merging, not just in relationships or not just with twins or things like that, but just like parallel timelines merging into the timeline we're experiencing on Earth here in 2025. So I wanted to pull some cards and yeah, share that with you guys and pick your brain. So I'll check the chat before I do the tarot. Makes sense to me. Thank you, Krista. I think your teeth already look really white. Have an awesome day, girl. Thank you. Have a good day, Angie. I wish I could stay, but I'll have to watch later. Okay, bye, Mary. How do you connect with your soulmate? I have been feeling she is coming my way, but how do you know a person is your soulmate? I can't really tell you that. Like, it's like a feeling. I think it's a feeling. Like, how I knew my twin was like a feeling. And then after the feeling came like the past life remembrance, because you guys know I have that skill to see past lives. And I wasn't even ready for those past lives. They just came in my head and I wasn't ready. Like, they were really, some of them were brutal. Like the way we died and stuff, and I just wasn't ready for that. But I think it's like a feeling, and no one can tell you what that feeling is. And then from there you see the signs and synchronicities, or you have the memories of the past lives or whatever. And even like the lore of me and my twin is like, we met up a couple, like we would see each other in passing for years before we actually connected, like as children and teenagers. And that's very common with twins. And like when I was in my abusive relationship, I didn't have the internet and I didn't have a smartphone. I was very isolated and poor. And my ex let me use his phone to sign on Instagram, and the first thing I see is my twin, and I didn't even know how we were following each other. I didn't know who he was. I recognized him, but because he was very close with one of my, he was like best friends with one of my family members growing up. So that's why we would always cross paths, but never really knew each other. And so I like recognized him, but I didn't know who he was, or like how I started following him, or why he was following me, or why he's coming up on my feed. But when I saw him, I was in 2015, like it activated. I'm like part of the 2015 wave. Like with twins, there are different waves of awakening. And so I'm part of the 2015 wave where it like activated something in me. Like, it sounds really dumb, but it made me think like, oh, like if there are guys like that in the world, like for some reason, I just knew I could escape the abuser. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's a feeling, right? Like, it doesn't make sense. You can't really put it into words, but like, just seeing his face gave me the strength that like, I can survive this. Like, I can get out of this, and I can find someone. Like, immediately it wasn't like, oh, I want that guy. It was like something about his face made me say like, there are good guys in the world, and I can survive this. I can get out of this. And then that was way before I learned what twins were, like went down the rabbit hole, learned all the signs, the synchronicities, things like that. So it's like, I truly believe that like, if you're not able to be in union in this life, like you're here to keep each other alive. Like, you're here to give each other sometimes the will to live when you can't pull it from within yourself. Like, in that abusive relationship, I didn't have a very strong will to live because my ex made sure that I didn't. Like, a lot of the stuff he did was to make me want to unalive myself and think that no one loves me. And you know, it was very abusive. Emotionally, physically, financially. I wasn't allowed to practice my spirituality. Like, I wasn't even allowed to salt my own food. When I had to use the bathroom, he would hold me down until I would start crying and say, I'm gonna pee my pants. Like, so we're just really dark times in my life. And when you live like that every day, and like the police aren't helping and the restraining orders aren't helping, and it feels like you can't get away from this demon, like, you're like, well, I just don't want to be here anymore then, you know? So it was like I saw his face and it activated me at the perfect time to like find the will to live and escape. 'Cause I had to escape. Like, I had to change my number. I had to move. Like, I was homeless for a while because it was like a lot of reasons why I was homeless. Like, because I got hurt in the car accident and then I couldn't work and I couldn't afford my house. And then, you know, when I did finally get this place, like, I had to make sure that, like, we didn't, like, I had to cut off all mutual friends because I didn't want him finding me. Like, I literally, like so many other women, had to go into hiding to save my life because he did choke me out. And 80% of relationships where a man puts his hands on a woman's neck, they end in death. Like, you're 80% more likely to be killed by your significant other if they put their hands on your neck and choke you. So I truly believe that if you haven't watched the new Matrix, watch it because it's so powerful. And he has a whole like speech about how they keep twins in separation just far enough apart to keep you longing and missing each other and out of your power between like Neo and Trinity. I actually have it. I haven't posted it because, you know, YouTube will not like it. Like, I recorded it and I was going to post it, but, you know, YouTube will S-ban me and everything like that. So that's how a lot of us are. Like, we're supposed to be together, but we're not because of spiritual attack and the evil that is in the world. And if we can't be together, we're at least here to help each other find the will to live in those moments when we feel like we can't go on. Because we're incarnated for each other. We're incarnated to be that unconditional love. I can't wait to hear this. Feels like crazy times to be alive. It does, Sweeta. This made me tear up. Definitely felt the twin flame bubble before. Dutch, you're so intelligent and self-aware and growing beautifully. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Joy. I felt the merging of timelines too. It's intense. Yeah. Oh, Fleming, Jesus loves you. Thanks. I love Jesus too. Duchess, you look drunk. Well, Mr. Blue, that's rude. I'm not drunk at all. So maybe get your eyes checked, Mr. Blue. I knew my twin when I was a kid, but didn't realize it until after years of being friends. Exactly, Krista. Like, these are, although every twin journey is different, there are certain things that most twins experience, like knowing each other as children, but not really connecting deeply, like, I truly feel that you guys, like, us and our twins cross paths because we're supposed to activate each other. Like, that story I just told about, like, seeing his face and, like, being activated to find the will to live and ultimately escape the abusive relationship, like, it activated me even though we didn't have actual contact. And so I feel that there are points during separation where you're activated even when, you know, maybe you're not getting that contact, which I think is why we come into contact as children, even if we're not having that, like, deep emotional connection or whatever. It's like you're still being activated in some way. Thanks for the hugs, guys. I talked to the mirror as a kid. Me too! I would talk to the mirror and I would talk to my reflection and say it was my twin all the time. Joy, I talked to the mirror as a kid and I imagined talking to this one person. They had a personality, etc. One day in 2023, I randomly decided to travel to Ireland and I met my twin. He talks like the mirror. Whoa. And twins are a mirror of each other. My twin was in an abusive marriage. It was crazy. He activated things in my soul and activated things in him, and then he left. Yeah, my twin, unfortunately, had an accidental karmic conception with someone that he did not know, who is extremely abusive. And, like, in a lot of the ways I experienced abuse, like, we're mirroring each other in that way now as he, you know, moves through that and is working to get, you know, custody over the child. Oh my god, sending you love, girly. Thank you, Kenna. Hi, it's nice to see you. Can you say my name for energy before the reading? Nora, I'm going to listen to all of it anyway. Sending you love. You're not alone. We feel you and praying for you. God bless you. Thanks, Nora. I thought those were tears, but looking like glitter now that I've read some comments. Yeah, it is. I did tear up a second there, but I didn't want to fall too deep into crying. This journey is so hard to explain, but yes, I need to check out the new movie for sure. Yeah, it's like, it's kind of disturbing. Like, the movie itself is very palatable. Like, it's not like scary or gory or anything like that, but it's disturbing because it's set in 2025 and you just feel like you're watching a documentary, not a fictional movie. So it's like even like in his speech, he's like, you ever wonder why you have nightmares? You ever wonder why your brain attacks itself? That's us. We're spiritually attacking you because we use you like batteries, and miserable people give us more energy than happy people. Happy people are more likely to break the matrix, whereas miserable people are more likely to stay better batteries for the matrix. Like the whole evil speech that he gives, it feels like I'm watching a documentary. Hi, Rising Phoenix. Sometimes the choices we make don't stem from our life. They come from ancestral lineage entanglements from our previous ancestors who couldn't resolve their issues, and sits in the family soul blueprint. I completely agree. I agree with that so much. And like the ancestral curses and everything is coming up so much in my processing of my grandpa dying and like the processing of grief of that. Sending you so much love. I wish I was your friend at the time you needed it. I would have kicked his arse. Girl, he was like really like strong and big. I mean, not that big, but like much bigger than me. I'm 5'2". Yeah, it was a horrible time in my life. Matrix Resurrections, I think is what it's called, the new movie's name. I would have kicked his arse. You didn't deserve to go through that. I'm so happy you made it. I'm so happy you're alive. Thank you. That means a lot. Like, I've had so many near-death experiences in my life. Like, so many. Even, like, the day I was born, I died. That's why I'm psychic, by the way, guys, if you didn't know that. Like, when I was born, my heart stopped. And then they had to restart it. And they didn't know if I was going to survive. And then I came back to life, and when I get my palm read, my lifeline starts on the other end because they say, oh, you've seen the other side, you died. Like, they see that, and then they say that's why I'm psychic, because I went to the other side when I was born. But so it's like I can't even count how many near-death experiences I've had in my life. And sometimes I wonder, like, why me? Like, why am I still here? Why did I get saved? Like, why do I exist? But then I just remember, like, I may not know why, but I'm supposed to be here, so I gotta keep pushing forward. Oh my god, sounds like a straight tweak. Yeah, he was horrible. He was an arsonist. He was, he, like, would rob people. He would steal stuff all the time. He, like, set shit on fire. Like, he was a reptilian. Like, when he kidnapped me, the time that he did kidnap me and like stole my phone while I was mid 911 call, and tried to choke me out and everything, because he was trying to keep me in the house. Like, his eyes were full black, like demonic, like that, like not like, oh, I can see the pupil and I can see the iris and I can see the white. Like, this whole part, the whole circle was black and like bigger than it should be. Like, there was still some white, but it was mostly black. And I remember in that moment, I knew, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this guy is, but he's not human. And I guess that's really common for like people with really strong spiritual gifts to end up with someone with like reptilian attachments or demonic attachments that try to keep them from reaching their full potential in life. And yeah, that was just a really bad time in my life. And he also, like I said, he was a heroin addict and an alcoholic, which makes it way easier to get possessed if you're like have a substance abuse problem. Dang, I missed the beginning, but I'm glad you're okay. So many demonic attacks lately, protected by the Most High. And it's horrifying. Yes, it was horrifying, but that's in the past. I'm really trying to get over it. Like, it's kind of one of those things that's like, it's like, it still affects me to this day. I think about him, like, way more than I wish I did. Like, sometimes the voice of my inner critic is literally like my abusive ex's voice in my head. And I'll recognize it, or sometimes like I'll see him in my head. I think about him way more than I ever want to, and I'm really working on that. But it's like when you spend 2.5 years with someone and almost every single day they're doing something to hurt you, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, verbal, anything, financial, like it leaves this imprint like in your brain and on your soul. And even though that was like, I escaped in 2017 and went into hiding in like, so it was like we met around like, I think the beginning of 2015, and then by the end of 2017, so it was about 2.5 years that I was stuck in that, almost 3. It's been so what, it's 2025? It's been almost 10 years, and it's still, like, to this day, I think about him way too much. And I had, like, hypnosis, because sometimes hypnosis can help you process, like, traumatic events that you can't process on your own. And the woman spent longer on me than she spent on anyone else. She's like, we accidentally did 4 hours under hypnosis, because she's like, there was just so much that came up from your abusive relationship. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember any of it. Like, none of it. I don't remember any of the hypnosis session. 4 hours, apparently. And then I guess the other one that had, like, that left, like, a huge impression on me, which makes a lot of sense, is when I was 21, I got very violently RAPED, and I almost died. Like, he almost trigger warning. He almost suffocated me in the pillows at one point, and I literally was, like, it felt like I was drowning, like, I couldn't breathe, and I had to, like, claw my way up the wall, like, because it was so violent and so bad. That apparently was, like, really stuck in my subconscious, and it makes sense that that was stuck there. I almost never think of that experience, but apparently it's still stuck in my subconscious. And then, like I said, I think of my ex, like my abusive ex, like way too often. And that was apparently very stuck in my subconscious. Those experiences were stuck deeply in my subconscious. But I was such a prisoner. Like I was saying, like I had no control over what I could wear, what I could say, what I could do. Like I said, he didn't even let me salt my fucking food, because he smoked cigarettes too, so he had like no taste buds. And it was like he would salt my food and it was always too salty. And then I'd be like, I can't eat this, it's too salty. And he's like, oh, I guess I'll just eat it. And like at that point, because he was such a deadbeat, I had got $194 in food stamps at the time, so I was really, really poor. And so I was feeding 2 people a month on $194 of food stamps. And then he would like take my food and salt it to the point where I couldn't eat it. So then I was like not eating, because then he'd just like take my stuff. Like it was just such a dark time in my life. And I really feel like he said he loved me and everything, but that's why I made that video when I first made my channel. I spoke up about it and I was like, this person doesn't love you, they hate you, and they want you dead. Like, I really feel like deep down in his heart, he was trying to kill me. Like, I really do feel that way. I missed the beginning too, but I have to say that you look really good, really healthy. Thank you. Thanks so much. Damn, crazy lore. Yeah, my lore is horrifying, and someday I'll write a book. Eventually. And then you guys can read the book and cry, which I don't know if you'd even want to do that. Maybe I shouldn't even write a book. I don't know. But anyway, you feel safe now? Yeah, I do feel safe now. 'cause like I said, I went into hiding, which so many women have to do. Like, I literally had to change my number. I had to go into hiding. I had to cut ties with any mutual friends. There was a couple I kept that I knew that like were my friend first, so I knew they wouldn't tell them where I lived and stuff, but like any mutual friends or anything, that I needed to remove them from my life. So like because this guy would find me. Like I said, he was a cancer. He was a cancer, a parasite that just kept coming back. So, yeah. I have been treated bad by a family member. I'm sorry, Suzanne. I don't know if you tried EMDR. I've never done EMDR, but a lot of therapists wanted me to do it. I just ended up getting on my feet and coping faster than I was able to get approved by insurance for EMDR. Because, you know, that's how it goes, right? Like, if you, it's really super expensive if you don't get it approved, and it takes time to get it approved. So I just ended up being able to cope with my life and, like, create a new one before it was approved by insurance. So now I have a trauma specialist therapist, and she doesn't do EMDR, but she's trained in this other kind of, like, subconscious hypnosis therapy that's very similar to EMDR. So I actually do that, and it's really helpful. I don't know if you ever tried EMDR, but I had some terrible trauma, and it helped wonders. But the person who did it, who I did it with, was a very spiritually aware person, and I think it helped. Yeah, my therapist I have now is extremely spiritually aware as well, so it's really good. Honestly, I have to say that I believe I am with my twin flame, and he has serious alcohol problems. I can also relate to the financial struggles you talk about. Truly, I can relate to you in many ways. Yeah, I'm sorry you're experiencing that. There's been points as well, like, honestly, obviously, like I said, I don't want to share too much personal information, but both me and my twin have gone through periods of time, like, where we've had our own vices, and where we haven't, you know, escapism in some way, whether it's, you know, alcohol or other forms of escapism. Girl, you're amazing. Your story is yours, and the person you are today is so important. Thank you, Linz. Girl, I don't want to come across as judgmental, but a whole heroin addict? No, I'm not. That's not my twin. That's my abusive ex that tried to kill me. My twin has never had a heroin problem. That was an abusive ex demon man that tried to kill me. Don't mix the two of them up, because they are nothing alike. Nothing alike. Literally not a single similarity. It's a miracle he didn't get you hooked on heroin. Honestly, if I'm being so for real, there were moments where I was like, maybe I should just do it. My life is shit anyway. Maybe I should just do it, and then maybe I'll overdose, and then I won't have to live in this hell anymore. And then I would always think to myself, no, because if I don't OD, then I'm just going to have more problems than the problems I have now, and I can barely handle the problems I have. Because everyone says that, like, how did you not, because I've had multiple heroin addict exes that they're fine. This is the pattern. I meet them, everything's fine. They get hurt, and then they get prescribed prescription meds, and then they take away the prescription meds, but now the person that got hurt is addicted to those prescription meds, and they can't get their hands on them, so then they turn to heroin. And Connecticut used to be the heroin capital of America, so it was very easy for them to get their hands on it. So every time it's like I meet someone and they're normal, and then they get hurt, and then they get addicted to opioids, and then Fig Barma, my ultimate nemesis and yours, rips the rug out from under them, and then that addiction to legal opioids becomes an addiction to illegal opioids. So I've had multiple exes who were heroin addicts, and every time I would, like, the thought would cross my mind, and then I'd be like, no, I have enough problems. Let's not add a heroin addiction to it. Especially I would get really scared too, because everyone who I met who had a heroin addiction would say, you get addicted the first time. And, like, that was just something I did not want to fuck with. Like, I just did not want to fuck with that. No. So it is a miracle, but I'm also really strong-willed. And I think it does show my strength that I never fell into that. Sending you tons of love. Thank you, sweeta. Nora, I don't know. I don't know why you're having that experience. God protects you always. Thank you. The abuser is not her twin. Yes, thank you, Krista. Thank you. It's not even a karmic. Like, I mean, I guess you could call him a karmic, but it was more of like someone just trying to kill me. Like a demonic attachment that was trying to kill me through a broken person. I'm sorry I don't speak that language. The Netherlands. Sorry, I don't speak that language. The American way. It is the American way. The Fig Barma American way. Devastating. Lost my parents to opiates. I'm so sorry, Linz. Being around that and not succumbing is definitely a strength. It's a huge flex. I completely agree. And on that note, let's pull some cards. I'm so glad we cleared up that, like, my ex and the twin are two completely different people. Because I had someone comment one time, and they were, like, yelling at me, and they were like, who you think is your twin is not your twin. You said your twin doesn't even like to be outside, and that's not your twin, and you wouldn't have past lives with this person, and blah, blah. And it's like, what the hell? Like, sometimes people just think they know you, and they don't. Like, I just thought of this the other day for some reason. And it's so, my twin literally works outside. Like, his career is outside. He likes outside. Like, so it's just like crazy when you put yourself out there on the internet. Some people, not that you were being rude saying that, like you were like, not to sound rude, and it wasn't rude, but it's just like, some people watch one video and get it twisted and then think they know everything about you. So yeah, glad we cleared that up. Okay. I want to get a message from your person. Thanks for the likes, guys. It helps the algorithm. Hey, Zoe. Nice to see you. I had a crash out with my partner this morning. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I think my guides brought me to you now. I feel less alone. I'm sorry you had that experience. I hope you're able to resolve the issue with your partner and come to a place where you both feel better. Zoe, you're in the right place. Yeah, exactly. Blessings your way. It's because you are so lovely. I couldn't imagine your twin being a horrible person. Thank you. And like we've all said, that was not my twin. That was a big fat fucking mistake is what it was. You know what's crazy too is like when I met my ex, the abusive ex, I did not like him. Like, I did not like him. Like, I did not want to be around him, but in true, like, abusive fashion, like, he would abuse my boundaries. I met him in group therapy. And one last thought before we get into the reading, I'll do a whole video on this one day, but the therapeutic systems literally put vulnerable victims in the clutches of abusers. Because like my ex was there, like I said, he was like an arsonist and a thief and all these things. He was there court mandated because he had done these like violent and criminal things. I was there because I experienced, like I said, such a bad RAPE that I almost died. And so I was extremely vulnerable and like having really bad mental health issues from all of that. And so I went there for help. He was there mandated instead of going to jail. And the amount of times I met people that should not have been, like when I got very badly beat up by the girl in group therapy, she was court mandated there for heroin, for drugs. Because like I said, Connecticut was the heroin capital of America. You have no idea how many heroin addicts I've met in my life. And the girl who beat the crap out of me, like, so bad, was there court mandated. And he was there court mandated. And so I had to see him every day if I was going to go to program. And I hated him. Like, I did not like him. I thought he was gross. Because he was gross. Like, I thought he was gross and nasty, but he just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing my boundaries. And he would also use my abuse against me. So I would go to group therapy and I'd talk about the abusive experiences that I had that brought me there. And then he would use it to lower my self-esteem. So he would like say things to me to trigger me from my previous abusive experiences, to trigger me into a place of submission, until eventually I just ended up in his clutches. And like I said, there were choices that were made. I ended up making those choices to end up in that situation, but the abuse I experienced and his mind games primed me to make those bad choices. So ultimately, the choices are my responsibility, but there were so many factors that led into me making those poor choices. And so it was like a couple months before I finally gave in. But then once I gave in, like I said, he was like a cancer and a parasite, and even the legal systems were not keeping him away from me. Because when you're dealing with like a severe criminal like that, like I said, he would just break into my apartment. Like I'd go to work and I'd come home and he'd be on my couch because he like broke in, even with a protective order from the state and a restraining order that I got against him. So it's like, yeah, it was bad. But I'll talk about it in a whole video about how the systems literally re-victimize victims who are there to get help, like the therapy systems, because they combine the addicts and the criminals, the violent criminals. I went to therapy with a pedo, like like she was a female, and you want to look her up? I could do a whole video on it like one day, but you can look her up. Her name was Mary Beth Rataic, and they didn't tell us. You know how many girls in there had S trauma from like childhood, or were there for acute S trauma, so like S trauma in adulthood, and they had the heroin addict, Mary Beth Rataic, was going there under a false name. She was using her daughter's name, Hannah, and when you asked, you know, because she went to jail for 9 months, which is long for a lot of people there. Like most people bail out, but she couldn't even bail out until 9 months. And then we were trying for months. We were trying to figure out what her crime was because we couldn't find her. She was using an alias. And then one day I remember I was with friends and we were out at this like lake, and my friend like got really, she's like, I feel sick. We need to go home. And we went home. And because this is when I was homeless, I was like staying on her couch, and then she told me, she's like, I found what Hannah did. Her name's not Hannah. She raped an 11-year-old boy. And the therapy system didn't tell us that. Like they didn't tell us we were in the room with a PEDO. I also had therapy with a different PEDO who was pretending to be trans. Like that's why I'm so passionate about predators appropriating as trans, because I met one. Like he raped a 13-year-old girl. I don't even know his real name, guys, so you can't even look him up because he was using the alias Anastasia. And if I got anyone from therapy, if I called any person from therapy right now and was like, remember Anastasia? They'd be like, oh, fuck that guy. Like, he was so weird. He was so creepy. He would send DICK pics to the girls and be like, don't you love my big DICK? And we were like, wait, like, that's not how trans people feel. Like, trans people have body dysmorphia. And then we found out that he had raped a 13-year-old girl and was court mandated into our therapy program. So I would like to do a whole video on that, because I feel like the therapy system is meant to re-victimize. And I feel like they throw victims to the wolves. So yeah, Mary Beth Rataic in Willimantic, Connecticut, raped an 11-year-old boy who was her best friend's son, while her best friend was giving birth in the hospital, and she was babysitting, got a bag of heroin before, and then also did it multiple times while the other child was in the room. So yeah, and therapy didn't tell us, and they let her use an alias. And then Anastasia, whose name I don't fucking know, so I can't even pull up the report because I didn't know the name. Someone else found it because they figured out his real name. And I'm calling him a him because he was a him. He was a predator pretending to be trans to get close to the women in group. The already vulnerable, violated women who, at that time that I was in group, there was not a single woman in group who hadn't experienced RAPE, because there were different groups I would go to. But he appropriated being, there was a girl, one of my very close friends was a Marine, and she was in the barracks in Kuwait, and she would have a lot of really disturbing flashbacks, and she would talk about like her trauma and stuff, and I just got chills. And he would, then one day he comes in and he's like, yeah, I was in the army. Like, he was just a pathological predatory liar. He was a terrifying person. And then I knew he wasn't trans because I saw him, I was walking down the street one day and he came running up to me and he looked like a guy, and I was so scared, and I was like, who is this man that is charging me right now? And then he opened his mouth and started talking, and I was like, holy shit, this is Anastasia. But he wasn't like wearing female clothes. That's why I have a problem with like, when I don't think there's any issue with only socially transitioning while you're trying to figure out if you want to transition. But if you're in a perpetual state of only transitioning, I find it very suspicious. Like, if you're not doing anything to change yourself other than like wearing a dress, like that I find very suspicious, because then you can just change back at any moment and take off this costume, when for so many people this is not a costume. Like, this is their reality. This is their mental health issue of body dysmorphia that they're working to heal. And so that's why I'm very passionate about predators hiding within marginalized groups, because I've firsthand had experiences of that. But that's got to be a whole video about how the therapy system works to, like, I'm convinced that certain people who work in the therapy systems are abusers and bullies, and when they get their hands on your trauma, they recreate that trauma to keep you in a perpetual state of insanity, like the doctors on power trips and stuff. And like I said, they re-victimize by putting like criminals with actual victims of the crimes that the criminals have committed. And they re-victimize by not telling you the crimes that these people have committed. Like, I sat across from Mary Beth, Hannah, and like would give her encouragement and like tell her like try to make her feel better when she'd come in feeling depressed. And little did I know, I was supporting a pedo. And I never would have done that. Like, if I knew what her crimes were, like, after I found out what her crimes were, I never talked to that bitch again. Because, ew. And she was only facing 10 years. She was only facing 10 years for going and getting high on heroin and then going to RAPE a child. That was the most she could get. So sorry, I'm like, I know we'll get into the reading, and then I get distracted again. Meeting him in therapy is diabolical. That's insane. No, for real. I literally needed you right now. He was with me for 3 months after being the absolute closest to me for 2 years and just left out of nowhere. Ugh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jay. Thanks, guys. There's so much to it, but I think I'm starting to understand and make changes and a plan. I need to work on emotional regulation, and he triggers me so hard sometimes. That's a good realization to have, Zoe, like, about how you can take responsibility. And I hope he has the same realizations about how he can take responsibility. That's wild. That would be a cool thing to manifest for people to realize. Court mandated and self-referral should be separate. Literally. There's no reason why they should be in the same facilities. And I've had plenty of experiences with criminals reoffending on the victims, like, in therapy. Like, they would always, the addicts too would try to trick the victims who had severe anxiety. Like, they'd be getting prescribed things like Klonopin and stuff, and the addicts would always try to like manipulate the people with anxiety into giving them their Klonopin. Like, it is a breeding ground to re-victimize victims. It's so broken. That's so scary. Oh my god, it really is. Write that book. That sounds like a movie. Wow. That's not even, like, y'all, I barely even scratched the surface. Like, the experiences I had in the actual psych ward would have you clutching your pearls and gasping for air. Like, they're unreal. Yes, write your book. Yeah, I will someday. What just popped out? We have the star that popped out. Spirit's like, get to the reading. Hey, Leah. Been getting hits to do so as well. Hey, guys. Yes, would love a video on that. Thanks, girl. Yes, girl. That's such a good topic because I never thought of that. Didn't know that's the thing, right, Kenna? Is I wouldn't know this unless I lived it. The only reason I know how fucked up the therapeutic systems are and how fucked up Fig Barma is because I have lived experience. And I also, as I've talked about, experienced low-level MK Ultra in certain governmental run mental health programs for young adults. Like, it's insane, actually. Like, the therapeutic systems make you more crazy than when you went in. Zoe, yes, everyone needs to write a book. And I need to buy them all. You have a lot of reading ahead of you, Linz. Does this therapy system... Yes! Does this therapy system still exist? Yes, Leah. These are the American therapy systems. I don't know how it is in other places. But this is how it is in America, in Connecticut, where I am. I gotta go, I'll watch later. Okay, have a good day. Since you're talking about, I have also experienced that demons will use marginalized groups. Thank you, exactly. Predators love to hide in marginalized groups because then they can hide their predatory, they can hide behind the way that the group has been hurt in the past and then do their predatory behavior. Lily Tino is like the perfect, Lily Tino is an Anastasia. Like, nobody likes Lily Tino. And, you know, Lily Tino has RAPE accusations against them when they were a man. And then now they've infiltrated the trans community and, like, nobody likes them. Trans people don't like them. Whatever, like, straight people don't like them. Like, nobody likes them because they're a predator hiding in a marginalized group, trying to hide their predatory behavior behind a group that was oppressed, which is the most disgusting kind of predator, if you ask me, because this group has already suffered in one way or another, and now you're hiding in it to hide your bad behavior. It's just so gross. My great-grandma was sent to the state mental hospital for half of her life. I think about what she must have gone through all the time. I can't imagine. If this is what the systems are like today, imagine what they were like when your great-grandmother was there. But someone will go to jail for like 20 plus years for 2 grams of weed. Yeah. But they don't care about the pedos. Because they're pedos. So, they gotta make the sentence light. Krista Ross, have you been to a mental health facility, Dutch? I have recently, and that was a wild experience. Yes, I've been put in the psych ward a couple times. Like 5 or 6. When I was with my abusive ex and I was going insane from the abuse and going insane from the systems, and it was actually so bad one time in that MK Ultra government run program that I went to a different, like, so there was this program I was in, and then there's like the actual like psych hospital that does like outpatient and psych ward. The program I was in was making me so crazy with MK Ultra abuse. I went behind their backs to go to the outpatient program to see if I could get in for outpatient because I was suffering so much because I was going to the program during the day and getting MK Ultra abused, and then I was going home at night and being abused by my partner, by my abusive ex. And so I snuck over to the hospital and asked if I could start an outpatient program. And within 5 minutes of my intake, the woman was so disgusted by what the governmental program was doing that she was like, you're actually not okay enough to do, because I didn't want to be alive. If we're being real, I wanted to unalive myself. I did not want to exist. When your entire existence is abuse, you don't want to be alive. And she was like, you don't just need outpatient, like you need inpatient. And so she put me inpatient unexpectedly, because that can happen. They can just put you in there. And then to cover their tracks, because she opened up an investigation on the government MK Ultra program, to cover their tracks, they sent my roommate. So my roommate at the time was a real trans man, female to male, trans. That's another reason why I talk about the topic, because I've lived it. Like, I lived with someone who was transitioning from female to male. Like, I lived with him while he was getting his top surgery and all this other shit. Like, I lived with someone who actually suffered from that. So it's like, I got mandatory sent inpatient by the hospital. They opened up an investigation on the government program because they were so disturbed by what I was telling them. And then they randomly scooped up my roommate and sent him inpatient. The government program, to cover their ass, sent my roommate inpatient. And I saw him and I was like, what are you doing here? Like, I saw him walking down the hallway and I was like, dude, what are you doing here? He like waved to me and we like ran up to each other and we're like, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. He said, I was doing so well mentally. And then the next thing I know, the government program was banging on our door and telling me I had to get in the car and go inpatient. So that was really fucking weird. And then we like banded together while we were in the psych hospital because we were like, this is weird. And then the program came to talk to us while we were in there and were like telling us like, you're not allowed to go to the hospital and like say things about our program. Like, you broke your contract, this and that. And like, they would like the thing they would do to me, the MK thing that they would do to me that I hated so much was they would turn on these really bright hospital lights. They'd turn on all the lights and put me in a small room, and there'd always be more than one staff member. So they would put me in the corner of the small room, turn on all the bright lights, surround me so I couldn't leave. So there'd be like 3 staff members blocking me in this small room with the lights shining down on me. You know that horrible noise that hospital lights make too? And I'd just be sitting there and they would just be saying, so what are you going to tell the doctors? Are you going to tell the doctors that we're abusing you? Or are you going to tell the doctors that we're not? And then I'd be like, I'm going to tell them the truth. And they'd be like, wrong answer. And then they'd keep me in the room and say, are you ready to stop telling the doctors about this? Until it's been like an hour and I'm like, get me out of this room. I'm going crazy. Yes, fine. I won't tell the truth. I won't tell the truth. Like, that was their tactic on me, is they would corner me, put on the bright lights, and put me in this tiny ass claustrophobic room in the corner for like at least an hour. Like, they did it multiple times. Whenever I would do something that they didn't like, whenever I would question their program or tell on them to other people, that's how they would punish me. And then they did a lot of other MK Ultra stuff as well. So I'm getting way off topic. Hey, the Hood Scientist. What's up, girl? Hey, Dutch, just tuning in. My friend said years ago she was in some type of government program and they gave her LSD that was promised to only give her positive thoughts. Super weird. That's another MK Ultra thing. That just gave me chills. They dose people with LSD. That is so messed up. That you can find information on that. Like, that's in public information that they dose people with LSD. I think you would be a wonderful candidate to work with young adults struggling with different things. Would you ever consider doing an education course and being trained in something like that? I actually would, Seema. Thanks for suggesting that. I think I would be really good at that too. Like, helping with like a young adult program, especially with kids with mental health issues, because I really do love kids, and I've been that kid that was struggling with mental health, and I didn't know how to get help, and the adults didn't know how to help me. So I mean, eventually I'd like to facilitate things like this myself. Like, that's why I want to have land and everything, because I want to have structures like that. Like, I really do. I bet there are some young people who would love to have your advice and help in their lives. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm also proof that you can survive it. Like, it's not easy, but you can. Okay, we've been on here an hour and a half. An hour and 40 minutes. Holy shit. This is like my old lives when I'd go live for like 3 hours. I hear you, Dutch. Been there so much. That's wild. Oh, God. Yeah, all right. Let's get into the reading. So, all right. So the first card we got was the Star. Let me see. I just want to like set my intentions. I want to clear this energy, cut cords from that conversation we were just having, ground myself back down into the present day, May of 2025. So, Spirit, I'm wondering about these parallel timelines. I want to get a message from our person in these merging parallel timelines and just whatever needs to come through. So, I'm going to just turn off the chat. I'll read the last things and then get into this. You've helped me and a lot of us on our journey, so don't ever feel your hard work and talents go unnoticed. Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Did people that you were with in the psych ward seem like other people you knew in the real world, or was that just me? No, I get what you're saying. It's a weird, it's like, brings us to our topic of parallel universes, where it's life imitates art, it's all a mirror, right? But okay, let me get into this. Frequency to get a message from your person in these parallel timelines. So spirit, what do we need to know? So I just saw the person come through, and since this is a collective message, it's going to be a lot along the lines of like take what fits for you. So like if I'm talking about your person but it feels more like you, that's fine too. But so what I'm seeing is this person coming through, like a divine masculine coming through, and they're like really like feeling like we need to go, we need to get stuff done, like we need to move fast, we need to do this. So that's how they're coming through immediately. And then we just got the star. So spirit, what is the message? We have the Queen of Wands, the star, the Four of Cups. Let's get one more and then I'll start reading. Thanks for the likes, guys. It helps the algorithm show up for people. Wow. Okay, cool. So we have the star, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. So this is telling me, so Spirit's saying that in the past where you've been held back or where there's been major blockages, especially here with the Five of Swords, where there's been major blockages with you and your person, there is about to be a lot more lucidity. I don't even know if that's a word, like lucid, like energy is about to become a lot more lucid and fluid. So look at that, the fluids are pouring over that guy here with the star card. And I just heard the land of milk and honey, and that goes back to ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, and then the stars are in the shape of the tree of life here up in the top. The star is the Aquarius card. Do we have an Aquarius moon coming up soon? Because Aquarius has been coming up so much. It might just be a personal synchronicity for you, but it's also just been coming up so much. So here we also have the Queen of Wands and 2 rings. Y'all, some of us might be getting engaged. But there's like a chain between the 2 of them. So this almost feels like karmic, something karmic that was like keeping you guys chained or keeping you restricted, and that is now becoming a lot more lucid and malleable. And here with the Queen of Wands, you've done the work. So you've become lucid and malleable within yourself to be doing the inner work, to be able to elevate from whatever karma was holding you back or holding your person back. They're also saying, I was doing it too. Okay, what is that movie? Oh, Hocus Pocus. Remember when she shines the light to try and trick the witches into thinking that it's daylight and that they're going to turn to dust, but it's actually just the light of her car, Allison with the yabos. And so when they go outside, they see her and she's like trying to get them to go in the Jeep. She's like get in the Jeep, like we need to leave. It's not actually daytime. That's how I'm seeing your person right now. Like the divine masculine is like, we gotta go. And it's because they're showing me like a water slide, like someone being like, yeah, woo, like going down this like water slide. And it's like this lucid energy of the parallel timelines merging is creating almost like this water slide effect of being able to like slide from like whatever dark karmic timeline you were on down into this higher frequency of the merging of the parallel timelines. To hop to a higher timeline. And so but your person is like, let's go, like go down the slide before the creepy thing, like the Sanderson sisters in the movie, go down the slide, get in the Jeep before they figure out that it's not daytime and they come after you again. It's almost like this get out of jail free card where we can kind of vest the dark entities or the karmic patterns that have been holding us back in this relationship. So yeah, here with the star and then these 2 rings, it's like the commitment, or if you're already in a committed relationship with your person, it's like whatever's been holding, like how Zoe came in and was like, oh, I got in a fight with my partner, I'm glad to be here, I'm taking responsibility. It's like, that's how you work things out, right? By taking responsibility. And by, my sister said something really smart to me. And she said that when she met her husband, her now husband, when they were first dating, she had to realize that it was me and my husband, well, my boyfriend at the time, me and her boyfriend, not me, her and her boyfriend against the problem, not them two against each other. And when she started looking at it that way, instead of like fighting him and being against him, it's like us against the problem, not the two of us against each other. She said everything changed. And like now they're married. They're in a happy relationship and they're married. So it almost feels like it's like the karmic ties and bindings that have held you back in the past, Spirit just said they're actually going to bring you closer together. So whatever feels like a huge like issue right now, or like something that like you can't get over, something that's been really like making you suffer in karma, is actually going to bring you two closer together. And there's like this water slide of lucid energy that is able to break these karmic chains right now. And here with the Queen of Wands, you might have done some spell work, or you might be doing certain healing or clearing that is creating this water slide. Like it's like a side path. So it's like you've been going down this like one direction, and there were like, we're bringing it back to the beginning, how I was talking about choices. You've been going through this one direction, and baby, you light up my world like nobody else. But anyway, you've been, and then you're seeing all these different choices in the direction you've been going in. Well, now all of a sudden there's this water slide that manifests that can like fucking hyper accelerate you in this lucid timeline merging, parallel timelines coming together that gets you where you want to go faster and in a much simpler way that vests the negative energy that's been holding you back. So wherever you've been holding back or been stagnant or have had blockages in this connection, it's like it's being released here. And whatever, there was definitely outside influences. So whether it was like spiritual attack, ancestral curses, third parties, like whatever it's been that like was holding you back here with this Five of Swords energy, you're having victory over it now. And for some of you, it's because there is a spirit baby that's really trying to bring you two together. This baby could be already born, like you could have already had them, or it could be one that's actually trying to be born, or if you don't want kids, it could be a past spirit baby that's here with you as a guide, that is helping to bring you two together. This spirit baby is also healing your inner child, like they're hanging out with your inner child who suffered whatever this Five of Swords is. But you're about to have victory over it here with the Six of Wands and the Judgment card. Major victory over something that's been holding you back for a long time, or patterns or karma or just bad stuff that's been holding you back. Here with the Six of Wands too, there's goats in the background, and it's like I keep seeing the Big Rock Candy Mountain too. That was one of my favorite VHSs, the Big Rock Candy Mountain. And little bunny Fufu, he gets turned into a goon for bopping the Misi Mice on the head. And it almost feels like your person has felt like a goon for a while. Like they feel like an idiot for bopping the Misi Mice on the head. But at the end of the day, the good fairy, the star, the good fairy turns him from a goon back into a good person, or a good bunny when he learns his lesson. So, wow, the Big Rock Candy Mountain. I haven't thought about that for a long ass time. That was like my favorite frickin', other than Melody Magic. Did anybody sound off if you had the Melody Magic VHS tape, or Big Rock Candy Mountain, or Bananas in Pajamas? I was obsessed with those. And this like bootleg Aladdin. I was like obsessed with this bootleg Aladdin. Okay, let's see what else. What are the other? I just heard, I love you, I love you, I love you. So you might be getting a love confession from your person. Or if you're already with your person, and I was saying like moving to a higher level of commitment, like being like, no, like I love you, like let's have a stronger commitment. Like even though we have these issues, I still, like, you're the one I choose. I just heard, you're the one that I think about all day. They're thinking about you a lot, and how to fix this.
how to fix this. And I just saw that meme of that guy that's like this, where it's like him like on the toilet, him like brushing his teeth, him like on a swing, and he's like pondering. That's your person right now. Throat chakra clearing. My throat is like clogged. The Chariot, shit's about to pick up, maybe for Cancer season. Maybe in Cancer season you're gonna see major movement, but shit's about to pick up, and you actually don't realize it yet. This is something that's hidden to you. You don't actually see the way that things are about to start moving very quickly here with this Chariot card, because it's behind her back. But it's not bad stuff that's behind her back. It's good stuff that's behind her back. But maybe you've been worried because like this other bad stuff happened behind your back with the Five of Swords. But here with the Chariot, it's like this is like he's being very loving, and you can't, Spirit's like, can we freaking surprise you for once? Like maybe you're someone who doesn't get surprised easily, and so Spirit's like trying to surprise you. You're not supposed to have all the answers, I just heard. The Nine of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Cups. So whatever you experienced in the past, like, so people say black cats are bad luck, but they're actually good luck to a lot of people. And how I was saying, like, how whatever darkness or negative experiences you've had in the past have broken you or hurt you in this relationship, it's actually going to be one of your biggest blessings and one of the biggest things that brings you and your person together in the end. I just heard through maturity, rapid maturity through these dark situations that you've experienced. So here with the Nine of Swords, it feels like you've been really worried about whatever this perceived bad luck or negative situation was, when in reality, and you've been worried about what's been going on behind your back with your person. But like I said, there's no more bad stuff going on behind your back with your person. It's like positive planning to move forward. But this heartache and this worry and this struggle is actually going to bring you so much positivity, and it's actually going to be your good luck charm, I just heard as well. Also with the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, this to me is telling me that your person is solidifying their financial foundation before they reach out, but you might get little signs and synchronicities, or they might reach out and just be like, hey, you're like, why are you texting me? Hey, like there's way more things we need to talk about. But it's like, it starts with hey, and then you get down to like the harder conversations or whatever. But this person could be bringing you flowers as well. I just heard you're a precious flower. And then I just saw the book, The Little Prince, where everything he does is to protect the flower. So what felt like them not caring was actually to protect you. So if it felt like they didn't care, or like, so let's say like they didn't talk to you for a while and you're like, oh, they're not talking to me because they don't care. It's actually to protect you from whatever they're going through, because they don't want to drag you into their problems or whatever they're dealing with. For some of you, it's legal issues that have been taking this person's money, and so they are, could be custody issues, legal issues, family issues, where it's like, I just have to be here for my family right now. Could be getting a divorce or something like that. Like finalizing a divorce. But while it's like you're not even noticing the way that they're trying to give you subtle hints. Because you're like looking at this with the Six of Cups is like, oh, I really miss how we used to be. I miss what we were. And it's like they're trying to give you little signs or synchronicities or little bits of support, but you're not really noticing because it's not living up to the expectations that you had. And I'm not telling you to lower your standards, but I just heard there will be signs. You know how people do that and like make a joke? Like there are signs. So there are certain signs. And this person is working to get their financial stability before they approach you, because I just heard this will be the last time I approach you. So it's like this is the time that they want it to stick. Or if you're already in a relationship, it's like that higher level of commitment. It's like creating that foundation before stepping to the next level of commitment. For whoever this reading is for, it's definitely stepping towards the next level of commitment, which makes sense with the dreams I was having about like the marriage proposal and things, and the merging timelines. This sock is reminding me of that movie Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I got this for a personal reading one time. That song that the lady does, it's super psychedelic, and it's like, my world is beginning to change. Everything's about to change for you in a positive way, but you're not focused on it, which is good, because then it comes in as a surprise, which is what your spirit team wants. They want to surprise you. And get a couple more cards, and then I'll get some advice. So we have the Four of Swords, the Knave of Pentacles, and the Queen of Chalices. In the astral realms, in some way, your person is trying to nurture you, right? Again, with behind the back, but he's giving her a drink. So it's like, in some way, and you're also nurturing them, because his face is right up in there. So it's like, your person in the astral realms is giving you some kind of nurturing. It's up to you to be open to receive it, and you should receive that healing and that nurturing. And you are giving them nurturing in other ways as well. They see you as this divine feminine nurturing frequency, this divine feminine loving frequency. They really love your hair too, by the way. I keep looking at these girls' hairs. Their hair, not hairs. Each hair on their head. Just kidding. I love each hair on your head, I just heard. And with the Four of Swords, some of y'all just need to rest. Like, rest and receive the astral love that they're trying to send you. And be open to receive that love. Because your natural state is to be a nurturer and to be a lover girl, but you've been trying to protect yourself out of that lover girl frequency because it got you hurt in the past. And with the King of Wands, they're about to step up. They're about to take some fast-moving action towards you where it's mature and it's stable and it's thought out and it's being what you need. It's not the in and out of the Knight of Wands. It's the King of Wands. There's about to be... With that and the Chariot, there's about to be some sort of major move forward. And with the Star... You got to take that water slide down to the new timeline. The Magician, the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles in the regular Rider-Waite deck is about finding sanctuary. Like, things have been really hard, but that one-legged hobo finally crutches up to the church and gets sanctuary in the snowstorm. What you thought was you being left out and you being scared and you being worried about being left out, you're actually about to head to sanctuary. Like, you're not going to be left out in the cold, out in the snowstorm. Like, and then I'm seeing the Hunchback of Notre Dame when they're like, sanctuary, when he like saves Esmeralda from getting burned at the stake and claims sanctuary so that they can't kill her as a witch. It's almost like you feel like you're about to be left out on the pole to be, some of you might pole dance, I know I do, but I know the hood scientist does, but out on, to be burned at the stake. Like, you feel like you're being left out to be burned at the stake, and at the last minute you find sanctuary. And so Spirit's just acknowledging, like, right now it's about getting your mental state right. And so something that helps me a lot when I'm having anxiety is working out, like just moving my body to move the anxiety out of my body. And also subliminals help me a lot with my negative mindset, if I fall into a negative mindset. Music as well, because there's the little violin here. They're like, stop playing the smallest violin for yourself. Like, stop. Remember Mr. Krabs? Like, the smallest violin. Like, stop. You have to stop having a pity party. I just heard, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. The Melanie Martinez one. Like, like, go with that pity party because you're having a pity party over something that's not real. They're offering you this magic water slide to go to the higher timeline and merge parallel timelines to get to your highest timeline. End the pity party and manifest and be the alchemizer. Alchemize it. People who are alchemists turn lead into gold. They turn a shitty hand, like how they say, it's not about the hand you're dealt, it's about how you play it. right? That's very much the energy. End the pity party, alchemize this shit, and demand yourself onto that higher timeline. Demand the matrix is crumbling. I see it everywhere I look. We talked about it in the beginning of this video. Demand that the matrix move to your highest timeline and manifest it. Also, your twin or your soulmate or whoever this is about is sending you messages through music. So you're getting messages from them through music. I'm going to get one card from this deck. 4 of Swords and 4 of Pentacles again. So, and then the Page of Pentacles again. And in this deck, it's Baron Samade. So if you're, oh, thank you so much for the super chat. My chat is off so I don't get distracted, but thank you very much. I'll read it after. But Baron Samade has been helping me so much. We just had the best, most powerful reading on the membership. If you want to join the membership, you can find the link in my community posts. But I just do readings whenever I feel like it. I wake up in the morning if I feel like reading. There's 3 readings up so far for the month of May. It's only $4.99 a month. I wanted to make it very affordable for the, I know not everybody has $4.99, but I tried to make it affordable for those who do have expendable money like that. And Baron Samade just gave us like the best message in that reading. So if that's something you're interested in, if you were thinking about joining the membership, this might be your sign because he's just been so awesome. But just to give you the shorthand version, basically they insulted him with the Met Gala, because if you go look, they are mocking him with their suits and top hats and cigars. At what point in history have you ever seen them on the carpet of the Met Gala with a cigar? They're mocking him because he comes forth with a cigar and a top hat, and he usually is dressed in a nice suit. And Kendrick Lamar summoned Ilegua at the Super Bowl. If you have eyes to see, you could see he summoned Ilegua, and I talked about that in my live after the Super Bowl. You can go find that. I talked about what he did, the signs and synchronicities that he used to summon him, and he summoned him for positivity while he looked dead in the camera and called Drake a pedo. So the crossroads, I just got chills. And I had a dream. I had a dream about the shrine that they set up for the people that they sacrificed in that, like right before the Super Bowl. Remember they sacrificed those people in Louisiana with that like freak car accident thing? The guy like killed a bunch of people. That was clearly a sacrifice before the Super Bowl. Like, you have to be fucking kidding me. I had a dream about that shrine. Like, I saw that shrine after I visited the lakes of hell. I don't know if I did a video on that, but I had a dream where I was taken to the fiery lakes of hell. I left red roses, and there was Santa Muerte like statues in the shape of, like, you know how Archangel is always shown like smiting the demons? There was statues in the shape of how Archangel Michael smites the demons, but it was Santa Muerte, like the spirit of death is coming for the evil. And then as I went to leave the fiery lakes, I saw across the road the shrine of the crossroads spirits. They were like scarecrows in the shapes of crosses on trees. And then I went down the road, and it was like St. Patrick's Day. It was so weird. And then I saw the shrine in my dream. Like, I was so taken aback when they showed that on the Super Bowl. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes. But how you see people wearing these top hats and the suits and the cigar, like, they're mocking Baron Samade. They're mocking these crossroads spirits that have been summoned for the light. And one of the dumbest, like, Baron Samade is the digger of graves. Like, he decides who lives and who dies. He also is a fierce protector of children, and a lot of these people hurt children. So they just dug their own freaking graves. But he came up so strong in the reading. He gave us a ton of information about the collective, and basically he called in reinforcements. So the light army is growing and growing and growing. But anyway, he's coming through here with this Page of Pentacles. How I was saying, like, it literally came out the same ones that I had pulled, like the Page of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, right, the Knave of Pentacles. I just got like really dizzy and a headache. You might be having like third eye activation or different activations. But how I was saying, let your twin heal you in the subtle realms, in the astral realms. He's saying now too, the Baron's coming through, like now with the Four of Swords again, Four of Swords, Four of Swords, Knave of Swords, Knave of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. It's time to let go, accept the healing that is being offered to you from your divine counterpart and other spirits, and rest. Now is a time of rest. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I'm just going to rest. I was going to run all these errands and do all this shit. No, I'm just going to rest. I'm going to stay home with the cats and rest. Especially because I'm starting to feel a little sick from being on here so long. I didn't mean to stay on this long. I'm happy I did because it was a really great conversation. But all right, I'm going to get us some advice from my Gods and Titans Oracle deck. It's really good. And then I'm tapping out for the day. I'm going to chug water when I get off of this. Make some lunch. I have tacos. Oh, yeah, I need to work out. I'm doing 75 hard, so I'm working out twice a day. Maybe I'll just take a walk for one of my workouts. All right, let's see. What advice, Spirit, do you have? We have Set, chaos. So this is the devil in ancient Egypt. He's so ugly. He's a donkey. He's an ass. Chaos. So as the chaos swirls around us, what do we need to know? Apollo. Inquiry. Think before you act on the chaos. So like people might be trying to trigger you. Spirits or entities might be trying to trigger you into having a reaction. What do narcissists want? They want a reaction. Right? What do stalkers, narcissists, like all these people, what do they have in common? They want a reaction, whether it's good or bad. So if someone or something is trying to trigger you into negativity, don't fall for it. Really think before you act with Apollo inquiry. Think before you act. This one of the sun gods of ancient Greece. Illuminate it, right? The sun illuminates. Not today, they freaking chemtrailed the hell out of my skies over here in Connecticut because we're just sold out. We're bought and sold over here. But let the sun illuminate the chaos and don't move. Like if someone's trying to get you to move, if someone's trying to piss you off, if someone's trying to bother you, if entities are trying to spiritually attack you, like don't give the reaction. Illuminate it and watch it ruin itself, right? Like a lot of times energies or people like that, they give themselves a bad name through their own bad behavior. Achilles, confidence. Have confidence. Question the things that are trying to take you out of 0-point frequency or a neutral mindset. Really question it and illuminate it and don't fall for it. Like don't fall for, like even the government, like the government is always trying to get a rise out of people. They're always trying to scare people. The news, all that shit, it's always trying to get something from you. It's trying to steal your energy. Before you give the narcissistic frequencies what they want, stop, think, illuminate it, have confidence in yourself, and don't fall for their trap. This makeup really does look good. I can't wait until I have it on when I'm at the beach. Well, after the beach. I'll come on here with the... I'll come on here... Or I'll do a short of me after the beach with this makeup on in my mint green dress that I was telling you about. Prometheus, altruism, and Poseidon, flow. So right now it's about being in the flow. And also too, the message that's been coming up so much lately is like evil spirits coming from the ocean, trying to do their evil deeds here. And there are so many positive spirits that are connected to the ocean. It's like lean on them, ask for help. Aphrodite, Poseidon, Yemaya. Like there are so, and many more. There are so many positive ocean spirit, positive sirens, good mermaids. Like call on them because there's been an ancient evil they're showing me that was awakened in the ocean. We literally saw that they tried to wake up Leviathan. Remember when that really bad controlled weather hurricane was supposed to level Florida? Like right before that, we channeled on Patreon that they literally tried to wake up Leviathan, like that monster from the Bible, and that Zeus Poseidon and Hades had to put their problems aside and work together as the male brother trinity to keep Leviathan caged in the ocean. And that's why there were all those like random hurricanes and all those fucking like problems that were happening in the ocean, because they tried to wake that up. And so it woke up a lot of evil in the ocean, and there's just been a lot of evil. We talk about this. I have to do a community post for members, but we talk about this in those as well. And so Spirit's saying, like, overcome the chaos, overcome the evil by working with, like, asking for help, asking the positive spirits for help. They want to help us. Like, this is their realm. Like, Aphrodite, Poseidon, Yemaya, like, they don't want to deal with the evil things as much as we don't want to deal with the evil things. So, of course, they want to help us, especially if you are, like, a daughter of Poseidon, a daughter of Aphrodite, a daughter of Yemaya, and vice versa if you're a son. Like, if you are a child of these gods and goddesses, they want to help you. They're waiting to help you. So just ask for help and lean on them. And then Prometheus, altruism. Like, do what you can to be generous right now, but not overly generous. So, like, don't be giving your energy right to the chaos and to the narcissism. But if you can give your energy to, like, your child, or, you know, your friends, or your family, or your job that you really love, like, think about where you're expending energy. Think about where you're putting your generous energy. Do not give abundance of energy to negative frequencies. Give your abundance of energy to things and people that matter to you, that you love, that it feels good to be generous with them. And don't be overly generous. We have the Queen of Cups that fell off the deck too. Over here, let's see what we got. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, a repeating card, Page of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the the Queen of Cups, which came out in the other deck as well. A lot of repeats. I'll get one more card of advice. Thoth, Tehuti, wisdom, serenity prayer. God grant me, like, God help me to stop worrying. I don't know it. Help me to stop worrying about the shit I can't change. Help me to change the shit I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. Have the wisdom to not fall into that argument with the coworker who's always trying to get a rise out of you. Have the wisdom to not argue with the random guy at the gas station who's screaming at you for no reason and you don't even know what you did. Have the wisdom to know where to put your energy generously and where not to. Like, I just did a fucking 2-hour live, and I'm glad that I generously put my energy into this, but now I'm going to generously put my energy into myself after this live. And I'm also not going to fall for any chaotic tricks that the enemy, however you perceive the enemy, is trying to throw my way. So Tehuti keeps coming through as well, so maybe you need to actually channel Thoth, channel Tehuti. We were talking about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, like I said, which are debated whether or not they're real, but I do think they have a lot of positive information in them. So maybe looking up the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, trying to connect with, I just got chills. Thoth, definitely. Tehuti, that's the ancient Kemetic way to say his name. He's definitely coming through with information. And he just said to me that he wants me to do a member reading with my Book of Doors, which is my ancient Egyptian tarot deck, which I really don't use for public consumption. So that will be, obviously not today, I'm tired, but we'll do that eventually. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm just going to say thank you to my guides, and then I'll check the chat. Thank you to my guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, star family, higher self, Yeshua, Baal, Ra, Yemaya, Kornita, and Sophia for allowing me to be the channel through which these messages flow. We thank you for the truth, and we thank you for the advice. Amol Rash and Namaste, with the power of 3 smoted be always works, always a blessing. I'm excited for our tacos. Thank you, Linz. That was really sweet. Hey, Indigo. I love hearing you talk. I didn't even realize this was a reading at first. Thank you. It's truly an honor and very humbling that people care about what I have to say. Like, it's really nice. Thank you. Frantic energy, says Indigo. Very ungrounded. Slow and steady like a turtle. My divine masculine bothers me. Girl, go watch the beginning. I'm very honest about my feelings as becoming the runner, which it sounds like you're having. Be aware of lucid dreams. Wait, I literally was just talking about this. You got to go watch the beginning, Indigo, because we were talking about this. Beware of lucid dreams. Chain coming through. I think it's by Fleetwood Mac. Oh, The Chain. And when in the reading I was with the Queen of Wands. Where are you? Oh, I just realized too. There's still a message there. Remember, he came out as the King of Wands, your counterpart, and you came out in the beginning as the Queen of Wands. And there's that rings, but there's the chain link between them. Everything you just said, I was talking about earlier. You're definitely an open channel. Wow, yeah, haven't thought about that one in forever. Deep cut nostalgia. The Big Rock Candy Mountain, is that what you're talking about? 2424, needed to hear I'm not supposed to know all the answers. Yeah, same. LOL, same. Hey, watching you from Pakistan. Thanks, Obaid. That's pretty cool. I'm over in America, in Connecticut. I never connected those. That's so wow. Growing indeed. Okay, we're not gonna read that comment. Rest, mama, and thanks for this message. Really good talk. Gray rock mode. Hello, hello. Hi, thank you. I'm Aquarius, thank you. You're welcome, guys. I'm glad you liked that. I'm finna sign off for today, but if you are just so obsessed with me, you can't get enough of me. No, I'm totally kidding. But if you want more, join the membership. The link is on the community page. Let's go over some stuff. So, Women and Children's Month starts June 1st for my birthday. June is my birthday month. Women and children mean, like, protecting them and making sure that they're well means a lot to me. So we're doing Women and Children Month. This is a tradition I started last year. I hope to do it every year that I'm on YouTube. I'm really excited. Kicking off the month, we have a somatic Kundalini release class. It's a women's class in honor of Women and Children Month, and we're going to be doing somatics and dancing and stretching and EMF tapping. It's going to be really fun. It's a Zoom course. We're going to support each other. We're going to do journaling. It's going to be really nice. $24.44 if you want to join that, June 1st. New stuff up in the Botanica. I put up some new art. I have some Yamaya body wash. People really liked that, so I charged up some more under the Scorpio full moon. And it even has these little beads in it, and you can save the beads and make like a bracelet or a necklace or something from them. So I think that's really cool. It also has actual sand from the beaches in Miami. I thought that would be a nice touch. And the bottle is reusable. You can use it for a spell jar after. So that's up on the site. Severe curse removal. The entire instructions are on the site. It is a mixture of over 20 herbs to remove severe curses. It also comes with a mini little spiritual bath that you add to so you boil the herbs. It creates this tea-like bath. Do not drink it. Do not fucking drink it. It's not to drink. It's also not for pregnant or nursing women. If you are pregnant or nursing and you want something similar, I can make you one with herbs that are safe for pregnant and nursing women. This one is not. This is all on the listing. It's extremely potent curse removal. You make the spiritual bath, you add the little vial of baths to it after, and then there's like a whole thing. It's like an at-home spell. So you can do an at-home spell. I did the work for you. All you have to do is make the bath. So that's up on the site, ranging from $33 to $55 depending on how much you want. So $33 for the spell and ritual, $44 if you want a small vial of exorcism potion with it, $55 if you want the spell, the exorcism potion, and an extra spell. If you have a particularly difficult stalker or things like that, I have an extra ritual that you can do at home. That's up on the site. Patreon, moving to my website. It's available now to sign up. It's called Coven, and you do explore plan options. You don't click book now because it's not a one-time service. You click explore plan options. So Patreon, moving over to my website. It's available now to sign up. And I think that's it. I did, if you need a breakdown of that, I did a whole community post. Check my posts, the different tabs on my YouTube. Go to posts, and you will see every single link I just described. So I did the work for you. if you want any of that. So yes. Though it was a pick a card, turns out it felt like a personal. I know I'm at the right time in the right place. Yes. I love that. That's the cool thing about reading energy, is energy travels in groups. Thank you so much. Sending you lots of love. Thank you, Joy. Bye-bye, Suzanne. I love Women in Children's Month. I know, me too, Rising Phoenix. Hi, Melissa. I'm listening at work. Oh, well, you just missed it, but I'm getting off now, but you can listen back. Thanks for stopping by. Hola, beautiful girl. I haven't seen you in a long time. Well, yeah, sometimes you have to unhit the notification and then hit it again, because YouTube doesn't always notify. But that's all from me, guys. Thank you for being here. I hope you liked this, and I love you, and I'll see you soon. All right, don't forget to rest. I'm about to do some really good resting. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Take care. See you